Here we go. All right, welcome to Mobility Fall Prevention, everyone. This is my nephew Evander, and again, I'm Ryan as always. We're gonna have some fun today. We're at North Topsail Beach, so let's get started. We wanna make sure that we have a bottle of water, and we know we can rest whenever we want to. We're gonna start warming up. So, we can be seated, or we can stand for this portion. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. We got a minute. We're gonna do some marching. Let's get that cross body marching, opposite elbow towards that knee. Working on getting our hemispheres of our brain talking to each other. That corpus callosum. Back and forth. Nice and strong. If we're having some trouble balance-wise, we can do it seated. We can do it like this. Yeah, working that core. Woo! We got 28 more seconds. If we needed to give our arms a rest, we can just do some high knees. Get our knees above our hips. Nice and strong. You want to show off your marching, Evander? Yeah. There we go. Doing that marching. Woo! And time. Good stuff. Now we're going to do our side steps, which again have our hips back, and then we're going to move side to side. We got a minute back and forth. Staying low. There we go. Back and forth, buddy. Yeah, remember to keep that chest lifted, our hips as low as we can. Working out side to side. That's good. Yeah. That's fun. 30 seconds. Yeah. Get those hips a little bit lower, chest lifted. Almost there. 12 seconds to go. And we made it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Next up, we're going to do our reverse lunges. And we can have our hands on our chair. We're going to turn that chair so you can see. But we'll have it as such, holding on, and then we're going to step back. We can have that knee bent in the rear if we want to, or we can keep it straight. We're going to alternate back and forth like this. We're bending from that front knee, back and forth. Now as we lubricate the joints, those hips, those knees, if we want to bend that knee a little bit, drop down, we can. We'll return, step back, bend a little bit, back and forth, just like that. Keep the good work. That chest is staying lifted. We have 25 seconds. We can always sit and rest if we want to. Taking things at our own pace. Nicely done, everyone. Keep after it. 8 seconds left. And time. Great stuff. Now we're going to add a twist. We're going to open up our thoracic spine and open up our hips at the same time. Having our hands on here, we're going to step back with one leg, and that leg to step back, that hand stays on the chair. Then we're opening up and twisting, returning to standing, switching sides. So again, the leg that goes back, that hand stays on the chair. We're exhaling, opening up for that twist. Inhaling as we return to standing. Exhaling into that twist. Back and forth. sounds like to twist. Keep it up. We got 20 seconds. We're all doing fantastic. Five seconds, almost there. And we made it. Sweet job. Now we're going to practice some balance, that tree pose. So we are going to keep a point of contact with our chair, and that side that's holding onto the chair, the other leg is going to stay grounded. So we're going to bring our foot closest to our hand up off of it. We can have our heel lifted up off the ground. It can be connected to above our ankle. It can be at our calf, and trying to find a sense of sway with the breeze. We can have our hands still connected to the chair, holding on with one hand, the other in our heart center, and being mindful of our hips. We want to keep our hips pointed, level. We're not dumping the hip to one side. We're keeping it nice and easy. And if you want to grow your tree's limbs to the sky, feel free. And if we fall out of it, we can just get right back in. We got about 30 more seconds. Finding a point in front of you that isn't moving to help us stay centered. How's your tree doing, Evander? Can you lift up one of your legs? Try to balance? No, that's cool. 13 seconds. No, it's hard to balance. I understand. You got 5 seconds. And time. Let's go to the other side and work that other side. Here we are. 3, 2, 1. Lifting on up. You're going to try it? Yeah, that's awesome. I see, you're on one leg. Awesome. Good job, buddy. Yeah, and holding on to a chair is exactly what some of us need to do. And you showed that perfectly. Nicely done, Evander. Yeah, you're doing some yoga. Tree pose, 27 seconds. After this, we get to get a sip of water, and we're going to start the rest of our workout. Keep up the good work, swaying in the wind. Again, we can grow our tree if we want to. 10 seconds. And time. Perfect. Awesome. So let's all get a sip of water. Take a little breather, and knowing we can always get a sip whenever we want to. We're going to start off with some split squats. So a split squat is a lot like a normal squat. The difference is we have our feet staggered. So a squat, we want our feet about shoulder width apart. And if you don't mind coming next to me, Evander, that's awesome. We want our feet about shoulder width apart, and then we're just going to step our leg back. So we're kind of making a split. We want our hips pointing straight ahead, and we have the option to hold on to our chair. So I'm going to turn and use that chair to demonstrate, but we're going to drop our knee towards the floor. All right, you ready to rock and roll? Here we go. Let's have that right leg back, left leg is forward. 3, 2, 1. We're bending that knee, going right to about the floor, and we're lifting up. Again, we can use that chair as much as we need to, or we can work on our own balance. We're working on getting lower, building that strength here. Not only in that front leg, but also in that back leg. We might even feel a little stretch in the front. That's that's our hip flexor. That's our rectus femoris there. We have 28 seconds left.
You want that way or this way?
18 seconds to go. Keep it up. How are your split squats going? Almost there, almost there. 5 seconds. And time. Woo! Nicely done. Let's switch to the other side. So the right leg was in the back. This time it's going to be in the front. All right. Here we go. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Left leg is back. Again, dropping on down. Using that chair as much as we need to. Hey, Vander, do you want to make this harder for me? Do you want me to maybe hold you and it'll make my workout a little tougher? You want to try that? No? That's cool. No worries. Maybe next time. 35 seconds. Yeah.
Are your shoes a little bit sharp?
My shoes are not sharp. They're amphibious shoes. Yeah, 18 seconds. I know Miss June likes my shoes. Once we all get back in person, I'll show everyone my shoes. Everyone likes them. 6 seconds. And time. Woo! Feeling that burn. All right, so we just did an isotonic type of muscle contraction where we went up and down, moving through our range of motion. We're going to now do an isometric in our chair pose where we hold the position. And we have the option to have the chair so that our hips are just above it, where we can sit down if we need to, or we can have the option of having our hands here just to help kind of counterbalance. So we're going to hold it, and you can also not hold on with your hands, but we're going to try to hold it wherever we feel most comfortable. We'll do again a minute of that. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So we have our feet at least shoulder width apart. We want to extend our arms out. And the reason is that's going to counterbalance the hips going backwards. And we want to hold it as best as we can. We're welcome to take a breather and come up out of it, but holding that there. You want to make it easier for me, Evander? Can I hold you? No? Okay. All right. Keep up the good work. Watch out, buddy. Almost there. We got 22 seconds. Feeling that burn. Woo! Yeah. Feeling that burn. Doing great. Doing great. 6 seconds. And we made it. Woo! Nice. So that was great, everyone. Good job. Now we're going to work on our hamstrings and our glutes and a little bit of balance. So we're going to do our single leg deadlift or our tripod. Now last week we opened up into our revolved half movement. We're going to play around with our balancing half movement. We're going to keep our points of contact on that chair. So I'm going to show you from the front initially. And our single leg deadlift, we have a slightly bent knee and we're hinging from our hips. Now you can see my hips are pointing straight right now. We want to open them up to the side. And then we're going to come back down. We'll lift back up. Easier said than done. So that's why we're going to use this chair, where we're going to hold on to that chair, again slightly bent. We're going to come here, then we're going to rotate to the side. What's up, buddy? Bring our hips back down, lifting our torso back up. Again, we'll drop our torso. Hips are now going to point to the left, bring our hips back down to the ground, lifting our torso back up. So let's do it. We'll have our right leg grounded, and then we'll do our left leg. Getting into position. 3, 2, 1. So again, we are hinging forward, hips are pointing down, and then we are opening up to the side, hips pointing down, lifting back up. Hinging forward, hips are pointing down, pointing to the side, back down, and lifting back up. And sometimes, as you saw, I kind of lost control there, so I'm going to use the chair. We're hinging forward, hips now pointing to the side, hips pointing down, lifting back up. Continuing through, we got 25 seconds. And this is really good for our hip socket. It does a few things, one of which is just getting that awareness of where are my hips in space. Are they pointing forward? Are they to the side? And this can alleviate some hip issues as well. Last rep, and then we'll hit the other side. Awesome. So let's hit that left side now. Our left leg is grounded. Taking an inhale nice and tall. We're hinging forward. Hips point down. We open up to the right. Hips again pointing down. Lifting back up. Opening to the side. Hips down. Lifting up. Doing great, everybody. We got 33 seconds. Using that chair as much as we need to. And maybe we feel comfortable we don't need this high portion of the chair, maybe the low portion. And maybe having one point of contact with your hand as opposed to two, progressing away from that chair over time. You want to try it? And time. Good job. Let's get a sip of water. We're going to move into our upper body next. So, we want to make sure that we have something that we can do a bicep curl with and an overhead press. We're going to do a combo. And we have a few options. So, I have my handy dandy kettlebell here, and we can do this seated. We feel more comfortable that way. Or we can do it standing, where we're going to curl up and then press overhead. So we'll get into our position again. We can do it seated if we don't feel too comfortable. And one caveat too, where if we have a hard time going straight up, we can bring it out at like a 45-degree angle. So something light in the range of maybe 2 to 10 pounds, really depends on our strength. And I suggest starting off lighter, see how it goes for that first run. So here we go, in position. We got 3, 2, 1. Again, we're gonna do our bicep curl, and then pressing up overhead. Bending our elbows, lowering down, curling back down. We curl up, we press up. Let's think about our core. It's nice and braced, and what that means is we're engaging those muscles. We're imagining we're wearing a belt, and we want to push up against that belt. That's right, nice and strong, Evander. Good job, buddy.
I'm just using Mama's
Using a water bottle, yeah, that's perfect. That's what I suggest. To make it tougher, you can add more water to it. Nice, almost there. Keep it strong. And time. Marvelous job, everyone. So next up, we're going to do our bent over row. And I know you all know this, we've been practicing this. And remember, this is more like a hinged row. So we're tall, we bring our hips back, and we're going to bring our legs back. So we have a nice straight line, tailbone, middle back to our head. Then we have our weight. And we're going to bring that shoulder blade back, elbow following through, lowering it down. We'll do a minute on this side, then a minute on the other side. Getting ready, and also keeping that core strong. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. Lowering it down nice and slow. And as we've built all our tolerance, built our strength, maybe we have increased our weight. Maybe some bigger cans, maybe a gallon of milk. Maybe we actually have some weights. Nice and strong all the way. We've got a full minute of this, pacing ourselves. If we need to take a breather, we're always welcome to it. Staying strong, almost there, almost there. You weigh about how much this weighs, right, Evander? And time, that was good. So now, we're gonna turn around, we'll do the other side. Getting into position. Awesome. So, remember, we're hinged forward, nice straight line. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it a full minute. Maybe we like playing golf. That swing that Evander showed. Future baseball player right there. Maybe even a golfer. Exercise helps us stay in shape, doing the things we want to do longer. Nice and strong. We got 30 seconds. We're halfway through. Almost there, almost there. And we made it. Woo! Nice. We're finished with our weights for a little bit. What we're gonna do next is our push-ups. So, we've been practicing these with our chair. I'm gonna move over here because I know it's nice and sturdy. I've already tested it out. So we're gonna do a few options. We can do our plank at an incline. So remember, when our hands are higher, it's easier. We can use our kitchen counter, we can use our couch, whatever we want to, and we're going to have our hands in line with our shoulders. Our core is strong, quads are strong, our butt is strong. We're gonna bend our elbows, keeping them close to our body, and then we're going to push away. Now, if that's still a little much right now, we can do just a normal plank, what we've been working on. We can do our plank taps, where we're alternating our hands to the opposite shoulder. Those will be some good ones. Now, the key is we want our elbows closer to the body. If they're out wider, we're actually going to hurt our shoulders. So keeping them closer, kind of like an arrow, where my two elbows are the feathers, and then my head is the tip of that arrowhead. So we got a minute of this, pacing ourselves. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Again, nice and strong. Our core, quads, doing those push-ups. Big D, you're right. Keep up the good work. Again, if we want to take a little break, we have about 30 seconds. We're welcome to. We can add some plank taps in, giving those triceps a breather. Keep up the good work. 15 seconds. Finishing strong. Nice and strong. So let's get a sip of water. We're going to repeat everything that we just did. So we'll start off with our lower body, we'll do our split squats, our chair pose, then our single leg deadlifts into our half moon, then our bicep curls to overhead press, our bent over rows, and our push-ups. Great job. All right, Evander, you ready for round 2? Yeah?
Okay.
Cool. Good man. We actually looked up what Evander's name means about an hour ago, and it is good man in Greek. I did not know that. So we're going to start off with our split squats. Again, we can use our chair, having our hands on that chair, feet again about shoulder width apart, sliding one leg back, and dropping that knee down towards the ground, and ascending back up. Keeping our torso lifted, working down. Now, if we want to make this harder, hang out down low for a few seconds, then work our way back up. We're going through a great range of motion, building strength. Holding on as we need to. 30 seconds. Inhaling on our way down, exhaling, blowing out on our way up. Watch out, buddy. Yeah. And we made it. Woo! Feeling that burn, feeling that burn. Let's hit the other side. In position. 3, 2, 1. Legs back. Dropping on down. Lifting back up. Again, if you want to stay down there for a few breaths, and then lifting back up. Five seconds. Pretty tough stuff right here. And it's important to work one leg at a time. Sometimes there are discrepancies on one side, and if we work each leg individually, we bring each into symmetry, and then balanced. And we made it. Good job. So now we're going to do our chair pose, where we're going to hold it. Remember, feet are about shoulder width apart, and it's about extending our arms out to help counterbalance those hips that are going back. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now we're trying to hold it for a minute. We can hold on. We can have our hips hovering over that chair if we need to sit and rest for a moment. But we're working our quads, our glutes, everything nice and strong. Feeling that burn, focusing on our breath. We can do anything. We have 30 seconds left. Keep it up, 18 more seconds. Almost there. I'm feeling that burn, 8 seconds. Woo, yeah. And time. Oh yeah, tough stuff right there. Awesome. So gathering ourselves, getting ready. We're going to do our single leg deadlift into our split squats, or excuse me, into our balancing half moons. So we'll have our right leg rounded, that knee's going to be bent, taking an inhale, we are hinging forward, we can hold on to that chair, and then our hips are pointing down, we're going to open them up to the left side, bringing our hips back down to the ground, lifting our torso up. go. We got a minute of it. Then opening up. 36 seconds left. Keep up the good work, using that chair as much as we need to. Opening our hips up to the side. Seven seconds, then we'll switch to the left. And time. Good work. So now that left leg is grounded. We'll be hinging from our hips. 3, 2, 1. Coming down, and then opening up this time to the right. It's normal to find one side a little harder than the other, especially after we've done it on one side for a minute already. Then we want to make sure we're keeping our back mostly flat. We are hinging from our hips. Back, lifted leg, and our torso are connected. Then we open up, hips to the side. Bringing them down and lifting our torso back up. 8 seconds. Getting one good clean rep in. And time. Good job. If you want a sip of water, we're welcome to it. We're going to go back to our upper body next. So I'm going to add an option here. If you want to work those legs a little bit more, there's 2 ways we can do this. We're going to be back in that little chair with our hips just above the seat, where we're going to curl it in. We're going to stand and press up. So that's an option. We can do it just above our chair. We can do it seated the whole time if we want to, or we can do it standing. So this is kind of a thruster, which is a fun exercise when you start to move up from a squat into standing as you press something up overhead. So let's get into position. 3, 2, 1. So we have our elbows straight. We're curling that bicep. Then we're going to stand up, lift the weight overhead, bring it down. We can sit back down in that chair, bending our elbows back to straight, then returning. And you can do it with or without sitting. We'll turn to the side. Keeping that core strong. Keep up the good work. We're nearly finished. And time. Good job. So now we're going to do our bent over row. Where, remember, kind of like we're in that lunge position, we're going to have our weight. We want to have our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to slide that leg back that has our weight, and then we're hinging, keeping that core engaged. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. So we're exhaling, lifting that weight up, lowering it down. Inhaling as we descend, exhaling as we lift it up. Nice and strong all the way. checking in with our body, how it's feeling over these past few weeks. Hopefully we're using these virtual workouts to our advantage. It's a tough time, this pandemic. Developing that resilience, that strength. Lowering it down. Awesome. We're going to switch sides now. So we got that right leg in the front, or whichever leg we didn't have in the front. Again, core is engaged, hinging. We're grabbing that weight, taking an inhale, exhaling, lifting it up. Staying strong the whole time. We got 26 seconds. Almost there, 2 seconds. Time. Awesome. So we are going to do our push-ups next. Here we have the option of our plank. We have the option of our shoulder taps in plank, or that full push-up. Again, be very mindful of our shoulders. Elbows are no wider than 45 degrees. Maybe a little more in, but not in this range. Trying to save our shoulder blades. Excuse me, our shoulders, our shoulder joint. All right, we got a minute. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Inhaling down, exhaling, pushing away. I recommend using like a kitchen counter. I know a lot of you have your balconies, but they're not as secure as this balcony here. Keep up the good work. Almost there. Need a rest. Do a little plank action. You can. We got 13 seconds. A little shoulder tapping. Finishing strong. And time. Nicely done. So let's get a sip of water. We're going to start with our cool down, some stretches, some yoga. All right. So let's start off with a little bit of spinal twisting. We're going to move in accordance to our breath because our heart rate and our breath rate still might be kind of high. We're going to inhale, lifting our arms up. We're going to exhale, turning to one side. Inhaling, lifting back up. Exhaling, twisting to the other. We're moving at the pace of our breath. We're exhaling, twisting, inhaling up. One more cycle on each side. Perfect. Inhaling, lifting our arms up. And we're going to sink to one side for some lateral flexion. If we can hold on to our chair, let's grab it. We're inhaling, lengthening that arm. Then we're exhaling, trying to stretch that side a little bit more. Again, inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, stretching to the side. Good. Inhaling, lifting back up. Switching arms. Exhaling, sinking. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, sinking. Awesome. Inhaling, lifting back up. Sending our arms down. From here, we're going to start to stretch out our legs a little bit. Let's bring our hips to the edge of that chair, bring that heel to the ground, toes are pointed in towards our shins. Inhaling up nice and tall, we're exhaling, hinging forward, stretching our hamstring back that thigh. Inhaling, lifting up. We're going to switch sides as we exhale onto the other side. Great job. Inhaling, lifting back up. From here, we're going to bring our hips to the back of the chair and swinging to one side, let's stretch out our quads. We can grab a hold of our ankle, maybe if we have pants or pant leg. Stretching, trying to get that heel as close to our hips as we can, stretching the front of our thigh. Releasing the stretch. Switching to the other side. Grabbing again around the ankle. Stretching it out. And releasing the stretch. Well done. We're going to stretch our hips out next. Lifting our right ankle, trying to get it above that knee. It can go below if we have trouble. But we're working on bringing this elevated knee a little lower to the ground. Inhaling nice and tall, working on bringing that knee down to the ground. And inhaling high, we're going to begin to exhale in the direction of this elevated knee. Stretching out that hip, breathing nice and deep. Good. Inhaling, lifting up. We're going to place this foot, trying to get it maybe on that chair. We're going to hug that knee in towards our chest. It's okay if it's not on the chair itself, but just kind of hugging it in, stretching the outer portion of our thigh and hip. Good. Releasing down. Let's switch sides now. So we're going to place that other ankle above that knee if we're able. Again, inhaling nice and tall. Beginning to twist in the direction of this knee. Exhaling, hinging forward. Marvelous job. Inhaling, lifting back up. And And we're hugging that knee in towards that chest, stretching that outer thigh and hip. Down. Good stuff. Let's bring our hips to the edge of the front of our chair. We're going to place our hands to the back of that chair. We're inhaling, lifting that chest up. Exhaling, sinking into the stretch. Focusing on deep, deep breaths here. Releasing that stretch, and sink back into our chair, bringing our arms one over across the chest, stretching our shoulder out. Good. Releasing that stretch, reaching sides. Releasing that stretch, and find ourselves with our back against our chair, working on that deep diaphragmatic breathing. We have our hands on our thighs. We're getting in touch with our belly here. We can also, if we want, have one hand on our belly, the other hand on our chest. Just working on letting that belly rise before the chest does. Going through several cycles here, trying to find that deeper breath we're all capable of. Bringing our awareness to the present moment. Rise and fall as we get air in and out of our body. With this breath a little bit longer. I'm going to point the camera in the direction of the beach. Welcome to bring our breath back to a normal pace, in and out through our nose, not trying to control any breathing, just hearing the waves, the wind. Thank you all for joining me today. Hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Take good care. Namaste.